Here we welcome Democratic Congressman Chris Van Hollen, the ranking member of the House Budget Committee. Sir, it's great to have you with us today. Welcome.
It's good to be with you, too.
Good morning. What's your response to what Senator Sessions said here on our show moments ago?
Nobody's demonizing the Tea Party. The Tea Party has every right to participate. The issue is what the House Republican leadership is doing with respect to the budget. And what we've said is you've got to reduce the deficits in a responsible way, not a reckless way, that will put the economy at risk. We've gotten good news recently on the economy. It would be a big mistake to put those jobs at risk. And we also have big differences as to how we cut. We think we should cut some of the subsidies for the big oil companies, the taxpayer subsidies. They prefer to start with things like education and cutting cancer research at NIH. So we have a difference of opinion as to how you best go about making cuts.
All right, understood. I mean, those go to the basic differences in terms of smaller government, bigger government issues in a lot of ways. I want to ask you this one question really on this $33 billion number, because John Boehner still says that there is no number that has been agreed to in the situation. But I'm so struck by the $33 billion number because it represents 0.9%, not even 1% of the federal budget. Is that enough to you to get this thing off the ground? Not even 1% in cuts?
Well, as you know, there's a lot of confusion because what the Republicans are talking about now is they're focused on a very narrow piece of the budget pie. They're not considering the tax giveaways to the oil and gas industry, and that's why we've tried, in fact, to expand
taxes when the economy is in the process of recovering. They've been very clear on that.
Let's be very clear. Gas prices at the pump are at very high levels. Oil companies are making record profits. It won't change the price one penny, but it's taxpayer money essentially being transferred to the oil companies. Now, when it comes to the cuts before us, if you're looking at the part of the budget that deals with everyday operations of the federal government, FBI, education, health research at NIH, Homeland Security, the cuts they're talking about represent about 20% of the budget because they're trying to take them over the next 7 months. And that's why economists from across the political spectrum have said that's going too deep too soon. Not that we shouldn't come up with a plan now, a responsible plan to cut the deficit. Absolutely we should, and it's got to require spending cuts, and it's also got to require getting rid of some of these taxpayer giveaways to special interests. So you got to look at the whole picture.
It seems to me, you know, that we're probably going to end up somewhere in this $33 billion range. It looks like that right now anyway for the 2011 budget. But you also saw a big shifting of gears yesterday on the Sunday morning shows. Clearly, the Republicans want to sort of move the focus to 2012. Paul Ryan comes out with this $4 trillion in cuts. Which is even above, you know, the debt commission plan that they came up with. The president, you know, empowered this debt commission, didn't employ any of the things that they came up with. And Paul Ryan has this very, you know, substantial $4 trillion cut plan. What say you?
Well, we haven't seen all the details yet, but we're beginning to get an idea of what's in it. And again, the question is how you achieve this deficit reduction. Everybody understands that we need to come up with a plan now to put our deficit reduction on a predictable path. The question is, how do you go about doing that? And one of the things that the commission recommended was to end the tax breaks for the folks at the very top, the millionaires. The commission recommended getting rid of a lot of the pork in the tax code. Unfortunately, from everything we're hearing, the Republican budget in the House doesn't follow any of those recommendations. So again, yes, we have to cut spending, but they recommended a balanced approach.
It sounds like you are committed, and a lot of that would go to tax reform, you know, changing the tax code, throwing out the tax code as it exists, because that in and of itself would prevent a lot of these companies from finding the loopholes that you're talking about. But I do want to get your thoughts on what did come out about this Medicare reduction plan. You know, you say that it would be going after, you know, older people and cutting health benefits. There's a reorganization that Paul Ryan has in mind of how to do this. And I just want to get your thoughts on this. It's a very big topic, which we'll take on in more detail another time. But what's your response to those cuts?
Yeah, this is a huge change in Medicare. Not only does it cut the amount for Medicare, but it ends the current guarantee that seniors have under Medicare to certain health benefits. And it essentially transfers all the risk of rising health care costs over to the senior on Medicare and provides a great bonanza for the insurance industry, because what he's doing is privatizing Medicare, giving the senior a voucher that declines in value every year.
Right, the
even
government
though the
would
cost,
pay for the first $15,000 of your coverage, and then it moves to private
yeah.
insurance plans. I apologize, because I do have to leave there. One quick thought, and then we got to go.
But that's the way he saves money, because he puts the risk on the seniors and takes it off of the Medicare program.
He claims that this is the only way to save the program, so that seniors can actually benefit from some health care insurance.
Well, there are other ways that we can make sure that seniors have their Medicare.
Hollen, we thank you.